Hey, who's that? Wow, that's cool, Scott.
Yeah, and the backside too.
Turn around, Scott.
Show us the back again.
Gotta get the camera where I can see, where you can see it.
Yeah, we want to see your back, not your butt.
How's
There
that?
you go.
We want to see most
That's
of
great.
it. Yeah. What do you think of
That is
that, Eddie?
cool.
That looks
I
good.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I was looking to get something like that done on a vest for going to SWAT. 'Cause, I got a friend that's got a business that can do that, and I didn't follow through with it. But
Yeah.
boy,
Scott's got a
that
friend
is
too.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brenda, we're gonna have to see if they can do black for us for our smocks.
Yes.
There you go. Put on the white. White on white doesn't show up too good. That's right.
Now make sure y'all pick a good color for Doug Miller's. I mean, it's got to look like Shuffle Doug.
That's right.
Scott,
Gonna
that
need
looks
Being
great.
put on mine right now.
It's gonna have a little red glistly tint to it, and it's gonna be glistly. I was sitting in a clinic today in the lobby waiting on my wife to get done with some business at the hospital, and a guy came up and tapped me on the leg. He says, "Good to see you, Captain. How you making out? See you tonight." I have no idea who he is. I mean, I was sober. Yeah. Good to see you. Hey, at least I'm thinking he knows who I am. I might owe him money.
Well,
So, yeah,
whoever it
people
was
watch-
must not be on here yet.
yeah, people watching are really, but we have a lot of members of a club I used to belong to in this area, used to participate with in this area that I see coming and going from there. And they don't necessarily make the live meetings, but they see the repeats and the replays. And it's good to visit with old friends like that. I mean, they're still around. We still, when we gather, we speak club politics. Do y'all do this? Do you do that? One guy asked me do we do a pig roast every spring like the Bayou Turnish used to do? I said, no, it's kind of hard to get these people from, 29 countries to, gather in. Some can't do the pig thing. But we talk a lot about, in fact, last week when I bumped into a guy, he is kind of their tech, one of their early tech guys. He's out of the loop on it now. It said, he presented me, said, when you want to do the meeting and throw it on Zoom, boom, right there, live and direct and store it. We can do it. It'll take me about a minute to set it up. And guys, we really want to keep the meetings to members only. And that's, guess what? We're going to start doing that too. This meeting is going to be limited to members only. I mean, this might be a hard thing to do, but we're going to pass it by the board of directors, and I think they're going to back us up on this, that if you're not a member, you got to leave. You just got to leave. That's all there is to it. And how do you qualify?
You gotta
That's
turn what?
we can't settle on.
Hey,
We're going to settle
Brenda,
on it.
hey, Brenda, make me a co-host.
Okay.
Please.
So-
Yeah, get in there.
Um,
Am I recording yet?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yes.
recording.
Somebody's recording.
All right, good.
Dave is, I
Right.
believe.
I'm recording, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's two of us.
Hey, I switched over
Gary.
from Terrible Mobile. Remember I had that Terrible Mobile, or T-Mobile, the nickname for it, T-Mobile, to AT&T. And I was a genius. That was so great. Except I forgot to include my computer in the coverage. So we're cruising along last week. Everything seemed to be going along good. And all of a sudden things were fading out because I was running through my cell phone, and then things weren't clicking right. And we had to boot back up again because I was on one of those 7-day experiences. I hadn't clicked in. So today I clicked the button. We're on real time now, but we're going to we record the meetings, then play them back. And I like it when folks see the replays or the playbacks when they want to see close up of what we do and fine tune on the demonstrations and tips and tricks and all that, because that's what brings. I think that's what brings them out of the woods. Really does. Because a guy would be sitting around, and Scott popped up. He said, "I got this new shirt. Look at this shirt. It's got, worldwide wood turners on the front and on the back and all that." I'm glad Brenda didn't ask him, did they get boxer shorts done? Really? May be awkward. Might be funny, but maybe awkward. But we bring out the best in the wood turners because we have this open rule thing. And that is, you got to be kind, you have to be polite, no vulgarity. And you can't hurt anybody's feelings. And that brings out the best in everybody. We all learned that in kindergarten, didn't we? Be nice and they'll be nice back. So let's be nice back. So I am discovering right now, it's a couple of weeks, it's like 4 weeks before SWAT. And that's my personal opinion. I get reamed on this sometimes when I say it like that. Is that SWAT is the world's greatest wood turning symposium. I've got a special spot in my heart for it because I think it's fantastic. It's a pile of wood turners get together, and they do what we do every Wednesday night. They share information on wood turning with each other. And it's not about the almighty dollar and membership and magazine and all this stuff. It's about wood turning. And you go there and you experience wood turning. And I love it. It's about a month away. Well, reality is now setting in. I will not be able to travel this week. Just not in the cards right now. It'll come again. It'll come again for me. But I don't want to miss an opportunity. And that's what I'm going to ask you. Help me with this opportunity. I've got a couple of 100 stickers to distribute at SWAT. That's our club stickers. And Ron Vincent, I got your request for stickers. Yeah, that was Ron out of Wyoming, Michigan. I didn't know there was a Wyoming, Michigan. But I got your request today, and I'll send those out tomorrow. But these are the stickers we have. This looks just like, see that? It would cover that thing on my head really nice. We're right, Matt? See? But we have these stickers, and I have a couple of 100, and I want to get them to SWAT. And I'm looking for members that will take care of that for me. So since I can't travel there, and it's just reality, I need about 10 members that I can mail these stickers to. And my boss is leaving. Yeah.
Bye, boss.
And bye, boss. And I'm looking for 10 volunteers. There's nothing to no. Here's the beauty of the thing. Because of members like Ron and many, many others, we have enough money in the kitty. Oh, I hate using that term. We have enough money in the fund to where I can send you these stickers at no cost. I want to send you 10 to 20 stickers, what I can put it into an envelope with one stamp. I want to send you a pack of stickers, but I'd like to get your assurances that I'll send you these stickers and you will personally hand them to potential members or people that you'd like to see visit with us on Wednesday evenings or go to the world's finest wood turning website. Yes, we are connected with that also. So if you would like to be part of that team, and this is a team, I'd like you to drop me a note, and you can do it through our club email address. You can do it through chat, because every night before we leave, Donald out of Australia reminds us to save the chat. And that's always on our website. But tell me you want to be involved and give me a mailing address, and I will gladly send you 10 to 20, whatever I can get into an envelope to get into to send to you for distribution to members. Now, I just said SWAT. You know, I want to open it up because I don't want to make it seem like I'm locked into just that one group or one organization. That's not the case here. If you're going to any kind of symposium, any type of meeting, any type of function, even your local club meeting, and you're meeting with other wood turners, and you want them to become part of our organization or lack thereof, and our group, and join with us, let me know. I'm going to do what we can with what we have to get you some stickers. How's that for a wide open deal? We're growing. This club is growing. We're in meeting number 197. That's tonight, is number 197.
That is
We've
awesome.
been rocking and rolling. We've been rocking and rolling. We having fun. What I love is when I go to the Facebook page, I see people like Kaczynski. I think it's Tom Kaczynski. Might mess your name up a little bit, Tom. But when I see the work he puts up there and he says, I just turned this, it just needs a lot of sanding. Doesn't need a lot of sanding. If you want to sand it, it's great. But the fact that you're turning and it's your art, that's fantastic. And you're sharing the stages of the work that you're going through and how you're progressing and what your work is coming in. And you're using up, somebody called them scraps earlier. There's no such thing as scraps. You know, Kim, you have our butt for calling any scrap. It's just unturned wood. But we want to expand this, and really, I want to see more from the new members. I want a Facebook page. I want to just take a snappy picture, but not just one picture. I'm greedy. I want to see a couple of different pictures of it. You know, Matt Harber says something about quilting in a piece. Sitting here yesterday, my wife is cleaning out her studio, which is very good. And because she's got to be home, take care of them. And she's bringing over little ring boxes I made her. I had no idea I got crazy like that at one time. I'd find blocks in the shop, drops from turnings, scraps, yeah, okay, corners off of turned bowls, and look at them and say, that is one beautiful piece of maple. Wait, look at the quilting in there. Turn it into a ring bowl, you know, a little ring box. I really got deep into it one time. I went and bought some jewelry one time to put it in there. But, you know, turn it into something that you can, if you're giving a niece or a nephew or an aunt or an uncle or a loved one a small gift for Christmas, even a little charm or a bracelet or a pin, turn a little bowl and put it in. A little water cotton in the bottom of it, put it in that packet, close it up, give it to them, and it can have a lid on it if you choose. Give it a little bit of challenge. She brought me one yesterday, and I was playing it and playing it. She said, "You pull it all day, it won't pull apart." I said, "Oh, come on." She said, "No, you did threads on," and I did. I chased 16 TPIs on it. So sweet. The grain match was perfect. And I just want, how many times did I have to recut that shoulder to get that grain match to come line up like that? But it's nice is when you can sit there and take your own work, look at the and see the quilting coming through it. Think, that would have been in the burn pile over there. And I played Matt Harber. I went over and dug in my own burn pile, brought this out and said, you ain't getting away from me. Same thing with pen cases. Pen cases for sewing and stitching and stuff. They make nice little treats. And if you do attend symposiums or workshops, whatever, you see ink pen blanks. They make great seam rippers and stuff. And you can buy those kits fairly inexpensively at some of the big box retailers online. But those are the kinds of things you can bring to a family function, and you'll always have somebody that is into that kind of art that you can make their day by, look, here's one out of a tree from Betty Ross's front yard, or something, gotta make a good story to go along with it, of course. But I had fun this week going through those little, every 5 minutes you'd come back with another one. Hey, you remember this one? You remember this one? I didn't know she had that much surface area in there. And it's as good as going through your own gallery, which sometimes folks, that's a good journey to just take a few minutes and look back on the flat spots in your shop and see what you've turned, where you've came from, where you got started at. That's why I don't throw away the firsts of anything. I cling to them. I used to let my kids take them, or oh yeah, you can have that. I didn't go away. Then I got to thinking about it. That it might not seem like much, but it's a memory. But it's a learning curve for me inside, because I could think, boy, look at this. That's when I cut wood. I could gouge it out. Ugly name for the tools that we use, and ugly way we use them. Mark Soleil's got it right. We don't gouge wood. We slice wood. If we learn how to slice wood, like Cade Boja does when he does a demonstration for us with the skew, he slices it away. He doesn't tear it away. He slices it through, and it leaves. Well, you start with a good piece of work, like a laser knife when you're getting surgery done, and you end up with a good piece of work. So it's nice when you go back to your early days, look at it and say, wow, look at the tears I had in there. And like Tom Kaczynski said, well, I got to do a lot of sanding on this. Well, not really. I had to do a lot of cutting on this. So I learned how to sharpen my tools, how to present my tools, how to watch them work and learn from it. And I wasn't impressed with what's flying over my shoulder and screaming off and all this stuff. I was watching the edge of the tool do its job and appreciating what that cutter would do. It's like whittling. You don't go whittle with a machete. You're only using and it's good fine cuts. That's what we want to talk to you about. Good fine cuts. Get that good sharp edge, present it properly, work it through. The follow through. Like you charge in there, but if you just ease in there, sweep through it. And that's why we gather on Wednesday evenings to learn some tips and tricks. We got some pretty good turners that join us each week. And if you're a new turner and you want to say hello, just say hello. That's all. Just wave at us and say hi. Good evening. How you doing? Tell us what you're doing. Show us a toy, a trick, a tip, or whatever you got. We're here. It's a cliche, but it's your club. It really is. And I love being with.
I think
Hey,
this
who you got?
This time of the meeting is a good time for first timers to share something that they've got, because there's not a whole lot of people on yet. That's what I used to do. I always try to get in there first and show mine first. That way there's only 60 people watching instead of 100.
I remember you held it up and there was Band-Aids everywhere.
Yep.
Yep. Look like an advertisement for Johnson and Johnson. But yeah, and we've had a lot of fun with that. And I tell you, when I look back at the early videos and I see some of the folks that we don't see some of our old friends. Some have other things going on in their life, or they got a little sidetracked, or age caught up with them, or whatever. But it's interesting to see where they were at and what they're doing now and what they brought forth. That's what I want to see. You got a gizmo or a gadget or an idea? Yeah. Because if you got it, I might not have it. I want it. And here's the beauty. We're not sponsored. Personally, we don't care where you got it from. We don't care if it's a great, fantastic idea that somebody thinks they're going to make $1 billion off of. If it's an idea dealing with wood turning, we want to share it.
As long as it works.
As long as it works. As long as no. Sue, jump on him, Sue. No, we can't hear Sue.
Safely works.
Safely works. There you go, Charlie. Gotta have that safety thing in there, Charlie. Yes, because we're getting a lot of feedback from our members right now about safe things. In particular, I think tonight we may be discussing
Fractal burning.
fractal burning. I was having a little problem putting a title on it. Fractal burn.
Lichtenberg.
Right.
Lichtenberg.
Microwave. I'm going to be quiet as a church mouse during that segment.
Okay.
Yeah, right. When's that ever happen?
Thank you, guys.
That's fair, Eddie. That's fair.
Well, honestly, we're not climbing up on a pulpit or anything. We're not beating on a Bible. We're telling the truth about truthful matters, and we're not aligned with anything or anybody except being safe and protecting the well-being of wood earners. That's all there is to it. I mean, there are things I have done out in that shop that I won't do today, or I won't attempt to do because I hadn't thought it clean through. I hadn't thought about the repercussions of, oh yeah, I can do that. That'd be all right. But sometimes we get a whole lot more brawn than we have brain. And we all believe we can get this done and get that done and be okay.
That big S on our clothes.
We really do. And that could stand for stupid. Really, you can be brave or stupid. It's on the, right on the tip of the fence. But I had one guy say, he called me one night after we covered something on safety, and it said, y'all cover this, but that's kind of an old hat. I said, not really, because there was a member that hadn't heard that before. Oh, really? I said, yeah, it was just one member, but that's all we needed to tell was one member. And I could tell in his voice that then he caught it. That's, you can't tell everybody everything. But there's one person, it's right there, that I could explain something about safety to somebody and only one person can catch it. And that's the person that's important, because that's the person that goes out tomorrow and says, oh yeah, last night just said before I turn this thing on and crank it up, I should count the 5 and think, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then this will happen. Man, I should think it through, because I've been with a couple of the big name turners that used to travel to do shows, and 2 of them a year apart, 2 of them immediately stepped up and turned on the lathe and didn't check the speed. They were at a higher speed than what they thought they were at, and blew up the piece. And it made for a good show. Things plowing around. Neither one of them had a shield on, but they were professional turners and they were beyond that. What they taught, at least one member in that audience learned at that moment, that because he was good, it was okay. I don't think that novice learned was, look, it can happen just about anybody. And it could have been him. When that thing popped up and blew apart and knocked the light out above him and all, that could have been him. It wasn't one way you could step back and say, wow, that was close. Close doesn't count in hand grenades. It matters. So when we harp on things about safety, we're only doing it for one person. One person that matters. So every week we look for a safety issue. Every week we talk about it and stay in it a little bit, because I'm out for one person right there. And it will make a difference. How would you feel if tomorrow you found out that you could have saved somebody, you could have prevented something, but for the matter of convenience, we just blew that off? Rough to do. Who's up on deck tonight? Who's going to be our demo tonight?
Joaquin.
I thought that was it. I put his last name down, not his first name. Because I'm trying to, who the heck is Vincent? No, Vincent. Joaquin on him. And boy, they've had he's living in hell. Pardon me. He 113 degrees down there yesterday.
Wow.
Holy moly.
Yeah. He's in Corpus Christi. They've had some serious heat problems.
They don't ever get dry heat down there either, do they?
No, they don't have any idea what the hell dry heat is all about, man.
Yeah. It's just soupy. You got it.
I was watching the weather we clicked this on today, and the guy said moderate temperatures over the next 4 or 5 days. I think it's 95, 96, 97. I said moderate temperatures, 97, with the humidity we get here.
And for me, moderate is in the 50s.
Yeah.
That's too
Don't
cold.
go get sweaty.
Hey, Captain Eddie,
Hey, how you doing, Randy?
here is something that always drives me insane. There is a woodworker on television, and he does wood turning.
Hi, Cash.
He will be standing at his lathe, and I'm going to back up so you can see me.
Hello.
He will say, okay, and now we're going to adjust this tool rest and move the thing over here and take it to this. And it drives me insane.
Is it still running?
Tool under his arm with the point sticking out while he's fiddling around.
Is the lathe still running?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
okay, because that's the key point of it. You got to leave the lathe running.
Out right here, and he's got his hands waving around.
Jeez.
Gosh.
Wonder how many Band-Aids he's wearing on a regular basis.
For sure.
Jeez.
I saw a demonstration of a guy with the saw stop thing, where you They do the hot dog, they push it into the saw blade and boom, it stops the saw blade. That might look like an extremely great safety option. When I came up, I was taught don't put your finger in the saw blade. And safety procedures to keep your fingers away from the saw blade, like, you know, how you handle material and such. And Sue's talked to us about that in the past. You know, don't go near the fire if you don't want to get burned. So don't go near the blade if you don't want to get cut. You know, use the right equipment. Don't cut anything around without chalking it, etc. This guy is doing this demonstration. There's nothing protecting his eyes. Nothing. He's going to go out and show this, run this hot dog thing, and that thing pops down. You know, did anybody miss the rest of the demonstration where, you know, it's all supposed to be safe? Come on. That's something, just turning that machine on and being over that blade, straight over that blade, that you're in a danger zone. You know, goggle up, shield up before you get there.
You know,
Because
Eddie,
this is not the only thing going in there. Hey, Sue, what's up?
that's a short term for, well, here's hot dog in your eye.
Yeah.
You know, that's a beautiful rig to have to help people if they get hurt. But you know, it's $100. That's $100 if you trip it.
Well, yeah.
Because I checked it one time and I said, you know, the guy said, okay, you got to do this. And I was at a tool demo and I said, what do you got to do? And he said, well, you replace this and this. And I said, what does it cost? And he kind of got a green look on his face, like, boy, I didn't want that question to come up. You know, because it was at that point, it was well over $100 fix. And because what does it do? It stops that blade at 5,300 RPMs, dead stop. And how do you do it? First thing you do is kill the blade. So, and you know, I was taught you don't get burned, don't go near the fire.
There
I
for a
learned
while, you couldn't get the cartridges either. I had a friend that took him 3 or 4 months before he could get a cartridge.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But it was just, you know, I'm not an old farty, but I just do believe let's develop some habits. Let's do some technique that would prevent us from relying on something else besides us to make us safe. Maybe that's old fashioned, but I really do believe that. It bothers me when I see automobile commercials on TV and they got self-driving cars that really align themselves and follow the lines in a road and all this. You know, at some point we have to be responsible for our safety and safety of others. We have to be responsible. We have to take it on ourselves to say, okay, I am not going to tuck my skew under my arm and adjust my machine while it's running. No, I want to put my skew down in a safe place, turn the machine off, make my adjustments, turn the machine back on, pick up my tool, count to 5 and go back to work. Oh, that's a lot to do. Be safe. That's not a whole lot to do. Pretty simple. But if it's a routine and that's in your spiel of how you work and how you operate. Now, if you're racing to do something, I don't have enough time to do that, then you have to wait time in life. And you know, it's up to you to decide which one's more important. Because remember, whatever we do, you can get seriously hurt on this stuff. Crippled. Look at the medium age of what our membership is. It doesn't take much for one of our seasoned members to get hurt in a shop with a hand injury or eye injury or such as that, whereas they'll be incapacitated and out of the shop. So something they love to do, really want to do, one minor flaw, boom, they're out. They can't go there. They can't go work in a shop because they got carpal tunnel or they pulled a tendon or they turned with a glove and a finger and a glove got snapped around and gave them tendonitis. And then they're a big, tough guy. They can keep going. And they went on and made it even worse. So, I mean, remember the big S on the chest? That's very often stands for stupid. So we got to get around that. We got a pretty good crowd in tonight, folks. If you're a new member, say hello, say hi. If you got something to show, you can say, I've got gallery. And that's what that little thing that says chat is all about. Go over to chat. In chat, just type in, I have something to show. I have gallery, whatever. We have co-hosts, and these are members just like you, exactly like you. And they're here to help us. And they will see that you have something that says, I have something to show. And you'll get introduced. And they'll say, hi, shot in the dark. Terry, you have something to show tonight? And I see Terry hanging out over there on his iPad. Terry's always in trouble.
I do have something actually. I'd like to ask you guys to do something. Eddie, I'd like to ask you guys to do something. I got both my iPad and my phone set up on the Zoom, and I'm out in the shop. And I would like to see if one of the co-hosts can try to transfer over to my phone. It's both online, if they could find it and highlight.
What's it listed at?
My iPad, huh?
What's it listed as?
I see Terry's iPad.
Terry's phone and Terry's listed. No, the iPad's on. I want to go to the phone.
Okay.
What's the phone called? Are you Terry Reynolds in Rockport, Texas? Or Rockport,
Okay.
Texas?
Let's see if I'm on there. Okay, it looks like you got it on. Okay. Now I'm going to try to do something else here. We'll go to I'm trying to flip the camera around on the phone.
Are you?
It won't let me do it.
You're in the garage.
I was going to try to watch one and do a little show with the other one, but it won't let me flip the camera around. I might be able to turn the camera around. Let's try that.
Hey, Terry, what's it called?
What did you sign in as?
Oh, she's got it. They got it on there. It's lit
But we
up.
can't figure out which one you are, though.
What's the name?
Terry Reynolds.
You should say Terry's phone or phone number.
Terry Reynolds, Rock.
Well, this says, yeah, Rockport. That'd be me.
Okay.
Okay.
That
I
looks
got
like
you
it.
on the screen. Okay.
All right, we
let's see
got
what
you.
we got.
We got you, Terry.
We got both of you, Terry.
Have me where I want. Huh?
You own the network
There.
right now.
No. I just got a little postage stamp. I don't have the full screen.
You make another lamp, did you? Floor lamp?
Yeah, I got one there, but I was trying to get the.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm looking the right way. But wait a minute now. Okay, there. Now you're looking at my threading machine?
Yes.
Are you still
Yeah.
looking? Yeah, you're looking at me and the threading machine.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to be able to do. And I'm talking on here, so if I wanted to show something on there, I can point
Yeah.
it out on here. And
Yeah, we could actually
see
spotlight
what
both
you're doing.
screens.
Yeah,
They
I
both
see
are.
both screens, but that's not too bad. It'd be better if you just had one screen, but I don't know how we could do that.
Well, we can do that.
If we just
There you
had that's the screen we want. Hey, we can do
There it
this.
is. Yep.
Imagine that. I didn't know
Yeah.
if this would work.
Terry's almost set up to do a demo.
There you
I
go.
am actually
Looking
set up to
good.
do a demo, but didn't plan on doing it tonight, but I was just gonna. Joe, that, well, I was
We'll
hoping I
have, we'll
could.
have Dane contact you.
Yeah.
And
We'll
it
squeeze
looks like
you
I
in.
can.
Hey, Terry,
Yeah.
while we got you on the screen there, explain that threading machine and how you got it set up. That's an
Okay.
good.
That's what I got it set up for. It's a cross slide vise and it's mounted on the ways. I got a 10-inch Delta lathe, and that's about as small a lathe as you could get and do this. I went online and looked, and there's lots of cross slide vices, but they all look like they're about the same as this. And this has got like almost, see that bolt in there? You can see the bolt in the center of the threading machine right here.
Right. Looks like both are all thread.
Yeah, it's a piece of all thread. It's a 1x8.
Oh.
And then I got an adapter on the end of it to hold the chuck.
Okay.
Okay, but putting it in there, the center of this bolt needs to be pretty close to on center with the spindle of the lathe. Okay,
All right.
you got that? So that's where your height problem comes in. And all the ones I saw them online, devices run anywhere from $40 to $65, $70 and on up. But I couldn't find any giving me the dimensions of the bed. The bed at the bottom where that bolt is like 4.5 inches. It puts the center, the center of mine is just a little bit high, but it works. And to go on to the rest of it, I've got these two bolts here it's just two nuts. And what I did is I put the nuts on and I jammed them together, and I put the adapter on and I put the chuck on it. And then I turned the spindle and brought the tool rest up beside it and made sure that it was turning true. Because the nuts are just factory, they're just hardware store nuts. And you can see the black marks on the nuts. That's
Right.
where I lined them up. And when it was a little bit off and it wasn't running quite true, I took the nut off, the outside nut off, and took it to the belt sander and just give it a little rub on the high spot. Went and did that 2 or 3 times. The guy I saw did this, he had them taken to the machine shop and all two-faced, but I didn't do that, and I got it really, took me a little playing around. But I got it really close, and it works pretty good. And the deal with the nuts, if you can see here, you see my finger? I got 3 nuts in there in the middle. You can, if I move my hand, you can see them. But there's 3 nuts in there. I've got a shim, a sandpaper shim behind the 2 outside nuts. And then I put a small paper shim and played back and forth with it on this side of the center nut, which is putting pressure against the fin and taking all the end play out of the ball thread. You understand that so far?
Yes, sir.
So now I've got virtually no end play. And then I had a little up and down play. And what I did is I just tightened the vise up real tight, pretty tight, and took the hammer and just give the center nut a little tap downward. And that took all the play out. So now I've got virtually no play in that shaft at all. And that's what you want. And then you want it running true. And that's, if you got a bigger vise, even a bigger lathe, even a 12-inch lathe would be so much better. Because this one, I had to make a bracket and a plate, and you can't see, yeah, you can see it pretty well right here. This is the base of the cross slide vise, and you'll see it setting right on the ways. See that? So I had to bolt a bar to the bottom of it. It required drilling holes and tapping it and everything to line it up so I could lock it back and forth in the ways. So if you had a bigger vise, you could do that with a piece of plywood, which makes it a whole lot easier. Because then all you got to do is put the plywood on, mount the vise to the plywood, and then build the slides to go in the ways and lock it down and slide. If you got that extra 3/4 of an inch to work with. But I didn't, but this works pretty good, but I don't know if I can get this to show you Let's see if I can mess up the whole thing here. This is made to mount that on to my big lathe. So I can mount that cross slide vise on my big lathe. And that's what it's made for. And this is what I'm saying. If you had it like even a 12-inch lathe, you could just use this board and mount it and then make a configuration like this to lock it down in a way. I'm looking at the wrong end. But anyway, this ain't as easy there. Now you're looking at the end of it. See, if you just had the bottom board, it would be a lot easier if you just bolt the vise to that. And then you can move it down. And you want to try to get everything centered. And then what you do is you've got here's a workpiece and into the lathe, into a chuck already. I've already turned it and got it into a chuck. It's not focused very good, but it's kind of working. But you turn that and don't take it out of the chuck, because if you do, you'll throw it out of center. And I've cut the inside of it, and then I just screw it onto the. Let me turn the camera back around a second. See if I can get it back. Got it back. Okay. See, I've got the chuck screwed onto the to the spindle that I've made. I don't know if I got that locked down. I do. But anyway, probably getting into a lot more detail. I was going to do this at another time. We can do it if you want to get into full detail, but you take and run it down. You can run the screw down and you'll get it out in front of what we got. My head stuck. I don't know how far you guys want to go. I don't want to take up all of the gallery time. We can, looks like this will work, so we could probably do it another time. But this, where are we? You can't see it very good. This is a double bevel, 60-degree, 3/4 inch by 3/8 shaft milling tool. Okay, and I got a paper written up down here with my phone number on it and everything. And if anybody, I'm going to try to send the paper that I've got, the way I'm doing it, into Dave and see if we can get it printed on there. And this, you see this? This is a 3/8 number 2 Morse taper collet. And it's got a 3/8 16 hole tapped in the back of it for a draw bolt to keep it from coming out. And it goes in the headstock. And then the cutter goes into the collet. And then you turn the lathe on and you've got the headstock turning, the cutting tool turning. And you can see it. Is it in there? What they do? Take it out? No, this is in the way. You just can't see it because we move the camera just a little bit.
Right.
And you see the cutter?
Yes, sir.
The cutter's in there, and then you're moving the workpiece up to it. The trick of it is, one of the tricks of it is sometimes you gotta cut from the inside out or the outside in, depending whether you're cutting the tendon or the hole in the receiving part of it. Because the cutter is like a saw blade, and you always want to feed the material into it the same direction you would feed it into your saw, from the cutting side and not from the back of it. You see what I mean? So if you're cutting the tendon, like the outside cut, if you're trying to cut that, you have to start from the bottom and work back to the end. And for the inside cut, you'd start out at the edge and work in. You always want to make sure, actually the thing goes so fast and it cuts so good, you can go backwards. But if you want a nice cut, you go in the direction just like you would with a saw blade. But if we get on to another night or however we want to do it, I'll set up so we can show it even more. I wanted to show one more thing. Last week, we showed a couple of threaded objects, and I hear a lot of people talking that you got to have this kind of wood, you got to have that kind of wood. Not true. I don't even know what this is. It's a big bolt. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of real soft wood, and it's threaded. And you can see the threads. See if I can get it. They don't look as crisp as they are, but they're crisp. There's no nicks, no jumps, no things in them. You can get them done. And going to show you this tonight, I went out and I actually went to go as hard as I could on myself. This bolt, I'm wrong. This is actually a 2x4. So that tells you what kind of wood you can cut with it. And I'll take the nut off, and it's actually just a pine 2x4. It's construction lumber. Let's see if I can get a shot at the threads. They're
Nice.
a little blurry, but they're just as nice and crisp as they can be. And then, oops. Well, used to work. Okay, and I also did the same thing for the head of the bolt. Got too many threads on there. You can just make it shorter if you want, but it's actually a box. And the head screws off.
That's awesome work there.
But you can see that, I'm trying to get, so you can see how nice and clean the threads are. And they're the same way. The way I'm doing that is I'm taking and getting it all ready to put on a mill, put on there like to cut them. And I'm cleaning it all up and making it nice. And then I'm taking some Parpex 3408 and running it around the area where I'm going to thread with a lathe turning real slow. And I kind of try to flood it on there and then give it 15, 20 minutes. I don't try to use the activator. Give it a little time to go in there and set that. And by doing that, you can cut balsa wood. That stuff, and it doesn't have to be 3408. That's just what I use. Any nice thin super glue will do the same thing. And there may be some other stabilizers out there that a lot of you guys use that'll stiffen it up, even maybe lacquer or anything. But I like super glue on it. And when I do that, I can cut it in any way I can. I've made lots of these boxes, different kinds. This is a little mesquite box, and you can see that the threads are all, this mesquite is really good. It cuts real well, and you don't have much trouble with it. And I made a lot of different things with it. This is another bolt. This one's only one section. This is mesquite as well. Got a washer and a lock washer, little stash. The top comes off of it. It's a box. The other end don't come off. Just this part. Just this end.
Terry, that is amazing.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome, Terry.
That is so cool. I mean, to even take the outside edge. Okay, so what size wrench would we use for that nut? I
mean, that's a 60-degree angle. And I just cut it round, threaded it, took it out of there, laid it out with a pencil and cut it off with a bandsaw and took it to the center and evened it up the best I could. And that's how I made the nut. One more little thing I'll show you quick before we go. I made a bunch of these and they didn't work out very good, so I quit making them. I just stumbled across them today. I put a little cigar wrap, a cigar label on it.
Right.
Someplace.
You're right.
I made a cigar wrapper for it because I had a little problem with them when I made them, and it's a threaded box as well. You see where they got it apart there. But I had a little problem after I had them made. I won't go into a detail, but if you take a look at it, it has the appearance of being something else. So we won't go into that. So I quit making them. I couldn't get rid of that appearance.
We certainly look forward to your demonstration on that that threader
Yeah,
there.
well,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Terry, thanks for the explanation.
That'd be cool.
And send any
Yeah,
notes you can.
I'd
and
be
we'll put
more
it on
than
the website.
happy to do it. That's why I set up out here and it looks like this will work. It looks like we'll be able to accomplish it. It's a little
Good.
sketchy, but I think we can do it.
We look forward to seeing a lot more of you then.
So we can, yeah,
Yes,
I'll-
great.
I'll cut a box or something next week. I've got one laid out, but we probably used enough time when we got the demonstration, and I'd really love to watch the gallery and everything. And I'm hoping that I didn't chase Ruby off. I was a little hard on her last week. I hope she
right.
came back. She is world renowned. I don't know how many of you people know her, but as soon as I heard her voice, I knew who she was and I wanted to see her work. I've never seen her in her studio. I've seen her come on different things, but she's all over the world. She could be anywhere. So it was phenomenal. And I figured if we could beat Jim up, we can beat her up too. But I hope I didn't offend her.
Hey, let's go to Dave Edwards then.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the phone off so you can go back the other one.
Okay.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, how are you?
Hey,
Doing
Dave.
good.
So am I supposed to be showing something?
Did you put in
You
the
want to?
All right. I have this project that I started probably about 6 months ago. So I was always scared to try to finish it because I didn't know what to do with it. And the thing is, I got it pretty well taken care of, balanced out,
Nice.
top and bottom.
That looks
And
great.
Nice little cavity in there for a candy or what you want to do it, because I got it finished off on walnut oil. And then you had some nice
Oh, yeah.
green in
Beautiful.
it. So
Very nice.
I didn't know what to do with it because every time I turn around, it started cracking. So all I did is set it up, put a little dam on each side of it here for the CA glue to run down, and then eventually the CA would finish right out to the edge here with a little bit of glue to dam it up. And so that's all I got on it. I don't have no filler, only the CA glue. And I have cracks in it that's already started cracking after I've finished.
Mhm.
So this is my finished crotch. We had a project back some time ago about a crotch,
Yes.
Yeah.
and so this is mine.
Nice.
Looks
I
good.
like the bark inclusion on that face. That's beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous
Yes.
right there. That is a beautiful shot.
Very nice.
Yep. Looks great, Dave.
All right, thank you.
Very nice.
All right. Do we want to do any more demos or gallery rather?
Well, yeah.
All
Done.
right. Let's do this guy.
Um,
All right, I got some old stuff and some new stuff. I've been in the shop, so this piece I showed last week, but I did some finishing on it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what I did. I lost bark in two sections. I lost bark here, and I lost bark here. So what I did was I got my carver out, and I smoothed out the bark here and here and here and here. And then I hit the torch, hit it with the torch, hit the whole edge with the torch before doing the sanding and finishing it. So, and this is an offset bowl. I can do this as a demo if y'all want. So, box elder, pith in. One of the things I do is I try to salvage pieces that come apart, as most of us do. And when a goblet stem breaks, this is what I do with it. So this is a piece of spalted box elder, and I just refinished it. So I put it on the lathe and clean it up And
Very good.
this piece here, I did yesterday. What it is a box. It's walnut, and it's just a little box. And I did it part of a demo, and I did some did a deal on the bottom with the spiraling tool and did some liming wax. Still smells a little bit like it, but it's a demo for a class I'm going to do to show how to make these. So there's that. And then this piece here, I have shown this years ago. This is 2x4. It's a goblet.
Oh my.
So it's super thin and it's pretty deep. And I just finally got around to finishing it. So that's why I'm showing it again. And this is a piece that I actually started years ago. This is also a goblet that I wanted to do some carving on. So, and this was all done with my micro carver. I did not do a piercing on this. So, and there's leaves and stuff there. Let me see if I can show that a little better.
Hey, Matt, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's gorgeous, Matt.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, it's been sitting on my desk for years, literally. And so I just got down, I got in there this week and cleaned it up and put some finish on it. And
You have problems putting finish on it in the carvings area?
oh man, that's why I use spray lacquer.
It won't hold wine.
That's inspiring for us new guys.
Yeah, looks nice. Man.
Thank you.
Very
And
nice,
this was just a simple goblet that I got reasonably thin, and then I said, okay, all right, let's make some holes. You know what I mean? So, and it just I sort of just drew them out, and I've got some that are on top of the others, and I started with these leaves here. So,
wow.
So that was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it's a lot of fun, and it was still fun. It was fun when I started it, and it was fun this week too. Yeah. So there were some things I needed to change and clean up and so on with the carving tools. So that was fun to do. So, and that's it for me.
That's really pretty stuff, Matt. Real pretty.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
It really is. I'll tell you. Wow.
It won't
Thanks,
hold
man.
wine, but it's beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to Howard Johnson.
Hey, everybody. Well,
Hey.
we had to, this month's challenge at our club was to do a hollow form, a bottom hollowing of a hollow form. Well, I got started, and what it was supposed to be something like a flask. But this thing got cracked and started blowing up, and it fell to pieces. So I glued it together and finally made something like this out of it.
Oh, wow.
That is pretty.
Nice. It's pretty finish on there too.
That's
epoxy.
That's epoxy finish. And it's got
Very nice.
Wow.
black Indian ink and gold acrylic paint underneath. So that shows what you can do with something that's blown up and exploded on you. You can reclaim it.
That is gorgeous.
And that is my first flame finial. How about that?
Nice.
Ever made.
Looks good.
And here's one I did years ago, a few years ago, but it's also got an epoxy finish on it. It's just a little urn flask. But the thing about it is the color. You can't really appreciate the color in this light, but it's got a gorgeous color to it.
It's green and blue.
It
Yeah,
looks like a deep royal blue. It's gorgeous.
yeah.
Yes.
I think blue is real good color for that type of, for this type of finish. And then here's another one that was reclaimed. I don't know if you can see it, but right here, I was turning this and it came apart on me. So I went ahead and coated it with the epoxy, and it turned out not bad at all.
Sweet.
With this held together.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm a kind of an epoxy aficionado, I guess. So
Nice.
that's mine tonight. Thank you very much for letting me share.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful work.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Very nice.
How about we go see what Doug Miller's got?
All right. Whoa. Well, you got to decide which camera you're gonna put me on.
I know. I wasn't sure which one it was
Okay.
either.
Well, you're good there. I wanted to show this because I got it finished with the proper hands. There we go. Nice
Cool.
big white hands so that they can be seen across the shop there. That's working out good. Those were some that were in our stash, and they were just perfect. And then I wanted to show the bowl from last week. We finished up. This is what you saw last week was the backside. Well, I got the inside finished finally.
Oh, nice.
Oh, gorgeous. That is beautiful.
Very nice.
Oh, gorgeous.
There we go.
Real
Dang.
My
pretty
wife
piece
is
of wood.
still saying, "How are you going to eat salad out of that?" I keep telling her one bite at a time. But that's the whole idea of it. And that's got catalyzed lacquer or pre-catalyzed lacquer in it, so it'll hold up. I wanted a hard finish, and so after our discussions last week and Matt giving me that inside information on what pre-catalyzed lacquer is, that's what I use. And so 13 inches by about 2.5 tall, and it works out. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. That's what I've done.
Beautiful. As usual. Beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Let's go. You're up. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Aim.
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 There you
Okay.
go.
I'm good. I have some that's composodium. Somebody did this before. It's stuck. It does like that.
Box. Yeah.
Nice tight
Yeah.
fit.
And
pretty.
usually it's turned by 36,000 RPM. It sounds like propeller when you're doing it. Otherwise, would not be excess. You need to turn high speed.
Yeah, pretty.
Almost
Gorgeous.
That is
Very
beautiful.
nice.
What did you use to pierce it with?
The almost look like dentist equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you hold it? How did you hold it?
You make the chuck first, and it's almost like 2 inches by 8 or 10. This is about almost 12. And you turn one side, and then you flip it another side, and by opening, you can use the chuck right on opening right here.
Okay.
Sure.
So it's enough 1/8 to hold the chuck in there. And this is the multi-access 8 times. The lacquer I'm using is unusual. It's not it's not regular lacquer. It's come from Italy. It's called Circus. Meaning all together, the sealer and the lacquer is about $500.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not normal. It's
Oh,
only
wow.
twice. I spray only twice. That's it. Twice lacquer, twice sealer. No 8 times, no 12.
Very,
But
very
you can
pretty.
buy it normal off the shelf. That lacquer you cannot buy it. It's only for some dealer you can get it in New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
Very nice.
And I got this.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Good burn.
Yeah. So
Did a good job, man. That's nice.
Very nice.
Very
the wood?
nice.
Yeah. And this is still
that?
nice lacquer one time or twice, but different lacquer. So
Very
Very
nice.
that's
Beautiful.
it. What I have.
Just beautiful. Let's go to Roger.
beautiful stuff, guy. Beautiful
All right,
stuff.
now I've got behind because that was just too interesting. Roger,
One.
Here,
yes,
here I am.
see you.
Have to speak up, Roger.
I'm here. Hello.
There, now they got you.
There we go.
I see Brenda.
There you are.
I see Sue.
I got him.
There I am. Okay, last week I finished turning my urn. Now I'm starting one for my wife. Well, she wants hers different. So this is a ring that I'm making for a design ring for hers.
Oh, my.
Pretty
And
nice looking
Gorgeous.
feature ring there.
so I made the feature ring first so I can make it fit into the urn.
Good idea.
So,
That's cool.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Does she like it?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is the same ring that's in a bowl that I made that's actually sitting on our coffee table. That one of her favorite ones. So she says she wanted that ring in her urn.
That is sweet.
Pretty.
But she wants her urn upside down from mine, where the big end at the bottom, where I've got the big end on mine on the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Wow.
All
Can't
right.
wait to see the finished piece then.
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be
You can have a-
cherry. So,
Hidden opening at the bottom.
uh,
Gonna have a hidden opening at the bottom, or the opening still on top?
opening will be on top.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very nice.
That'll be very nice.
All right. Let's go to Sandy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandy. Oh, you're muted.
There we are. I found the right
Oh,
button.
yeah.
Hi,
There
everybody.
you go. I want to see.
I know. Life really can get complicated, as you all know, but hopefully I'm back for a long time. Then my latest project, which took me more months than I care to talk about, just trying to get a finish on it. It's a piece of cocobolo.
Wow. Very nice.
Really?
That's a huge piece of cocobolo.
It is a very huge piece of most people that see it, that I've shown it to, they ask me, where did you come across a piece of cocobolo that big? And it had its challenges. Trust me on it. I have wormholes that I don't think you can see them very well, but they were all here. Across the bottom and the top, I kept running into bigger. So I was doing a lot of filling as well as turning. And then the challenge with cocobolo, of course, is the finish. This piece is about, I don't know, 11.5 inches wide and 4 inches minimum tall, something like that. But the finish, I went through 2 of the large containers of acetone and probably a full can of sanding sealer. So you would just, you'd rub that acetone on there and work real hard, and then you'd seal it. And so it took months to actually get a finish on this, but it was so pretty. And when it was just natural, you didn't see the grain as well as you do with the shine. So the centerpiece there, that doesn't have a finish on it, just wax, but it dulled down so quickly. So I worked real hard to get the shiny stuff. So
That's pretty.
Thanks.
You certainly accomplished your goal.
It certainly took me a while, but anyway, now I can move forward.
I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gorgeous,
wow.
isn't it?
Just wow.
Oh, pretty.
I'm shaking my head with just wow.
Well, thank you.
Did you core it to get multiple bowls out of it, or you just got the one piece out of
I
the
did,
large
Kate,
piece?
and I would love to tell you that I did core it. It wasn't an
Nice.
easy job. We had to sharpen the blade. This
Oh,
stuff
I
is.
bet.
It was an older piece I found at a sale. One of our friends in the club had passed away, and he'd been a turner for more years than most of us can even imagine. And I found it back in the back of his shop when we were helping his wife get things out. And so I told her, I said, if you decide to sell this piece, please let me know, because I'd be interested. And so she did. She put my name on it and put it aside. And so I was able to buy it. But I don't know that would ever have gotten a chance to get anything this big and something I could afford. So it had, like I said, wormholes, cracks, and all this from sitting in the back of the shop for probably, she thought it had been back there for probably 15 years.
Wow.
So there you go.
Beautiful piece.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's go to James.
All righty.
How are you?
Hey,
I'm doing
James.
good. Y'all hear me okay?
Yep, here you go.
I'm trying to gear up for some craft shows. And I finished off my little mushroom stand
Cute.
this week.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Very nice.
it was a lot of
Love
fun. It's like that. So, but we're off the road making more mushrooms.
How did you do the spots on top?
I've got a folder I got at the local grocery store, and it shows all these different mushrooms. And so this year, just artist paint, just like pens, and I just
Okay.
devil them around like that. The center one is mesquite, and the outer ones are poplar.
Hold it up a little higher. There you go. Turn it around. Very nice. Those are cute.
That's beautiful.
Yep. Love it.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very,
it's going to be interesting to see how it sells.
yeah.
Very nice.
All right.
That's all I've got.
Well, thanks. Hey, Bob.
Hey, yeah, hey guys. Everybody's showing these bottom hollowed vessels. And that's what this is. This was a demo that they did in our club last month. And of course, this is the challenge this time, is to do a bottom hollowed one. So I've got a 5/8 inch hole in the top of it. And then I drilled it out. I've forgotten what it was, maybe 1.25 inches all the way up in here. I didn't go ahead and hollow it. So I thought that was probably good enough. So I just plugged it and then came back and tried some dye on it. I wasn't real happy with the dye that I used, but it turned out all right. I had trouble
Nice.
getting yellow. So, but
So
I
what-
did.
so what- So what dyes did you use and how'd you get them on there, Bob?
Yeah, I ended up using, I started off with the chestnut stains or chestnut dyes, and I didn't have a yellow that looked very yellow. It was not yellow, not really yellow at all to me. But anyway, I guess it might be the pecan that I have here. It didn't soak it up well. Maybe I sanded it too much, and I also put a sanding sealer on it before I put the dye on, which I probably shouldn't have done. But
What wood you got there, man?
That could
it's
have been.
pecan.
Pecan.
Yeah, pecan.
Looks
But
nice though.
yeah, it still turned out okay. But and then I ended up with that right dye, as a water-based dye, and I was able to get more color to stick, or of course I guess it's on the surface. But and at that point I thought, well, boy, I can't put CA on it and buff it out, so I put that Krylar triple thick on it, and it still turned out all right. But
Looks good.
Beautiful.
But anyway, that was my bottom hollowing piece. And then from last week, I have a pair of spats here that I had made out of t-shirt material, and I retired them. They collect a lot of stuff, so I retired those. And after last week's, I made some like the guy had showed on the deal last time.
Yeah.
And they work real well. They work the same way. They sit over around your
Made out of then.
deal, and over your shoe. So so it works real well. But I like this one. I think the stuff is going to slide off of this better than it did the t-shirt material. But anyway.
What kind of material is that, Bob?
I don't know. It was just something I had on, some cloth or something that you recover stuff with, maybe like
Like
on
a
couch.
vinyl or a faux leather or something?
Yeah, it's kind of a faux leather on one side. It's not really a vinyl feel to it. And then the other side is I don't know, some type of a cloth stuff. But anyway, just whatever I had, and I thought, well, that ought to work better. At least the stuff ought to slide off of it easier than the t-shirt material.
Cool. Yeah. I gotta make.
Yeah, I think everybody needs a pair of those just to keep it out of the shoelaces. I got so tired of having to pull my shoes off before I came in the house just to get the stuff out of the shoelaces.
Yes.
But that's it. That's all I got for tonight.
All right. Well, thanks, Bob.
Very nice.
All right. I guess I've skipped Tom Kenny somehow or another. I didn't see that. But... So, Tom, you're up.
I'll get over it. I have a before and after. This is before. And
That turned real well.
Thank you. Let me switch cameras here. This is going to be the after.
Oh, pretty.
Wow.
It's a piece of alabaster, and it's about 5 inches tall, and then a bloodwood finial. I've heard it described as a ribbon finial, and then Cade's a bad influence. I copied one of those brass finials to go inside of it, and probably spent more time doing the finial than I did doing the hollow form itself.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm
pretty.
kind of pleased with the way it turned out. And my piece of advice, if you're going to turn alabaster, is call one of your buddies up and say, hey man, I got a nice piece of alabaster. I'm coming over to your shop to turn it. Because it looks like a talcum powder bomb went off in the shop. I got this white dust everywhere, under cabinets, on top of dust pipes, everywhere.
Very nice.
And then I did finish it with Parfix. That's it for tonight.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Great.
Yeah, very nice.
I like that ribbon finial.
That was my second try. The first one I did 2 full rotations, and it was just too tight. You couldn't see the brass finial in between. So that one was done with sycamore, and it broke twice just trying to sand it. So this one I did with bloodwood, and it's pretty sturdy.
Very nice.
Would you guys refresh my memory? What sort of stock do you start off with for the brass finial?
I just had some brass rod.
Cool. And where do you get something like that?
I believe it was Ace Hardware, or might have been Lowe's.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And it turns that, and I've turned aluminum in the past also, and it turns with regular wood turning tools.
Cool. All right.
Also, Dave Kingsley said he had something to show.
Yeah, he's next.
Yeah.
On my list, anyway.
What time do you want to do the demo? Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. Made myself an acorn,
Yes.
and bottom is a mystery wood. I have no clue what it is. Something that a friend brought up from North Carolina. And the top is walnut, but I wasn't
Very nice.
I was not happy with that flat top at all.
Hmm.
So I got out in the shop today, made myself another acorn.
Aha.
And this time I had a whole completely different sequence of doing things so that I could shape that top better, and made a little stem on it. But I still got a nice pop.
Yeah.
And the finish on it is just the abrasive paste and wax. I didn't want it real shiny because then it wouldn't look like a real acorn.
Very nice.
Cool. Very nice.
Yes.
That's nice.
It was fun.
Good job. Good job.
But that was it. Little guy kept me pretty busy this week.
That
I bet they will.
was even more fun, right?
Yes.
All right.
More tiring too, but more fun.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find Charlie Bundy.
Yeah.
There he is.
Can you hear me now?
I can
Yep.
hear you.
Gotcha.
I made a little bowl.
Oh,
Cute.
Very
Very
nice.
nice.
I was making what I'm going to show next couple of birdhouses, and this is what was left off of when I made the roof to one. I think it's silver maple. That's what I got written on it.
pretty.
Yeah, looks like it. Very nice.
And there's one of the birdhouses I made.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
neat.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
What wood's
like
that,
that.
Charlie?
The top is silver maple. That bottom piece is mountain ash. I don't have a clue the finial.
Hold it up so we can see the thin. There you go, like that.
There we are.
Very cute.
Good.
Very nice.
Never make just one.
No,
Right.
100.
The silver maple on the top piece. That top piece is what the bowl was made out of.
Okay.
Off of the same one. The more mountain ash
Very nice.
on the body. I think that finial is silver maple too.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
What else you got?
Last but
Another
not
one.
least,
All right. We're gonna
Oh,
start calling
man.
you Birdhouse Charlie.
Right?
I like when it teaches you how to use every tool.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's great.
The bottom piece is the center of the mountain ash. The birdhouse itself is an old piece of silver maple that started to spalt and change colors. And silver maple on the roof.
Very nice.
I love it.
Yeah, Charlie.
That's it.
Very
Thanks,
nice.
Charlie.
Good job, Charlie.
Thank you.
And let's go to Howard.
Yep. Howard King.
Come on, Howard.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I
Yeah.
can hear you
Can
now.
you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Gotcha.
Couple, 2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks ago, Joaquin demo a 3-sided, all kinds of 3-sided bows and what have you. So I made a 3-sided or 3-pointed vase. And
Wow.
this is
That's
Purple
pretty.
Heart. That's Purple Heart, and this is Holly with a finial, and so little hollow
Nice.
form. And
Nice color.
this is maple, and this piece here is holly. And so anyway, so that's in honor of Joaquin's great demo the other night. So,
Good.
so I
Very
guess.
nice.
And I got
Hey, wait a minute, Howard. What color did you use on that holly?
it's natural.
Really?
Yeah.
Looks gray or something, or almost.
Might be the lighting.
Well, this is maple. This holly.
Yeah, holly's a whole lot whiter, huh? Oh,
Yes. Real white. Yeah.
yeah,
So-
real pretty.
So
That,
anyway,
that was a good demonstration for sure.
yeah, sure was.
That was for sure.
Very nice.
I had a friend who gave me some limbs, and so I didn't know what to do with them. So I made this long stem. I don't know what you call it, flower or whatever. But this is hackberry. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
I like
hackberry.
that.
And so I other part of the limb.
They're fun to do. Looks good.
I made this one.
Yeah, pretty.
Love it.
And he gave me
green.
He gave me a piece of cherry that had been standing outside in the dirt, and so half of it was rotten, So I made this one out of it.
Mhm.
And
Oh, my goodness.
this thing broke on me 3 times. I had to reglue it because
Oh,
the grain was like a snake going up through there, and lots of this is cross grains right in here. And you wouldn't think a limb would be so convoluted grain, but that cherry was. I tell you, it was really. And so, and he gave me some holly. So
oh my.
I made that one. That's holly.
Oh, you've been busy.
You got the shape down. Oh my goodness.
Then I made another one out of holly.
Jeez.
Oh, the grain is beautiful.
So I guess you could maybe drink out of this. I don't know.
Don't stand
anyway.
to somebody when you're drinking it. You hit them in the head.
Yeah.
Or you can use this part as a club, you know. I might crack it. I better be careful with it. Not to hit my head, but I might crack the base of it. But anyway, that's all I got. I just put oil finish on. So
they're pretty.
Anyway,
Yeah. Pretty out.
Yeah, they look a lot like flowers to me. I'd call them flowers instead of goblets.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or blossom. My wife said blossom.
There you go.
There you
And
go.
looks almost like a short calla lily. So yeah,
Like what?
a calla
Do what?
lily.
Oh,
Calla.
really?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess you'd call this a gaggle of blossoms, or
There you
what
go.
would you call
There
it?
you
Or a troop,
Okay.
or a
Full of
flock,
potpourri.
Troubadour.
flock.
You got your little garden there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fill
all
them
right.
full of potpourri and they'll smell like flowers too.
Hey, that might make this place smell better.
There you go.
Oh, I need to take a bath, by the way. That's me.
Thanks, Howard.
All right.
Very good, Alan.
Let's go over to Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Yep. Nope.
You're muted.
Yourself.
Stu Darth.
Can you hit
Nope.
You're
the
muted.
space
Still
button?
muted. There you are.
on your
There you are
keypad?
now.
Can you
Try
hear
it.
me now?
There we go. Yep.
Okay, I was a lifetime photographer, 50, going on 54 years. And I've retired. I'm still doing some, but I got into wood turning. And I just finished a bowl today I've been working on.
Oh, pretty.
My goodness.
It's
Oh,
maple, walnut, and babinga. And I've got some staves at the top, some open segmented in the middle, and then closed segmented at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Pretty.
Man.
It's the second
Very
piece
nice.
like this I've done. And it's
Pretty good,
not an
Robert.
overnight chore, but I'm learning.
That is gorgeous.
very
Thank
nice.
you.
Not an overnight thing, no.
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 Wow.
How many hours did
What I
that
like
take?
New
about
to
it
the
is
group.
you
This is
took,
my first time here.
yeah, you took
Well,
different
good. Welcome to
techniques,
the
Yes.
group.
made those techniques
Yeah.
your own. That's really fantastic.
Welcome.
It looks great.
How
Thank
many
you.
hours did that piece take?
About 25.
Yeah. Very
Wow.
nice. Cool.
Thanks for sharing.
Great
Thank you.
job.
Gorgeous.
And welcome.
Appreciate that.
Don't hesitate to come back. We want to see more of that stuff.
All right.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
be back.
All right. All right. I'm looking for Kent Crowell.
Or the top.
Speak to us.
Hey, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Kent Crowell?
Yeah.
There we are.
Got it.
There he
There's
is.
a little lag.
There
Anyway,
you go.
okay. I got a bunch of Aggie tippy tops. They don't work like they're supposed to. So if they were good ones, you know, but you make a batch of errors and you don't get it all right. So I'm a Texas Tech, and we have a rival with Texas A&M back in the O conference. And then I have mini lays, and one of my friends, Jim Burt, who will be at SWAT, I traded him a boring bar that I made at another club because I couldn't use it. So this is his mesquite bowl with the branches going out, and he's really good. If you have a chance to go to SWAT in Waco at the end of August, he's really good, very soft spoken, but a mathematician, and he for fun he makes volleyballs with the different colored patterns and the math, and it all fits. There's no gaps. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you having this, and I may have to go eat lunch, but I put in the chat the AAW link to all their fractal burning stuff. It's really long, and it's over 3,500 words, and you don't have to be a member. And it's just some good stuff, and just be really careful. I don't have enough liability to get involved with that. I just don't want to go there. So, you know, I appreciate if you have fractal burning, I would just me, I'd appreciate you keeping it to yourself, because we've had a fatality in Levelland of a kid that got electrocuted back in the 90s with just cut off the ground wire on his power washer. And then we had a close call in shallow water with kiddo wanting that design on his electric guitar, and he almost paid dearly. Anyway, appreciate you.
Yeah,
right.
you only get one chance to make a mistake and you're fried.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Kent.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
To little Bob.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Bob.
I got a big natural edge bowl that I did.
Oh, wow, that's huge. That's very nice.
Yes.
Not thick,
Hold it
isn't
with
it?
both hands. It's sort of heavy. It was just a little piece of scrap wood, and I didn't want to go in the
Bigger
house.
than
So I just
mine.
made something out of it. And I've got a platter that I did. It's a little smaller. It's about 18 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Let me see if it's
The
like
moon and the sun.
there. And
Pretty.
these are fun to do, but they take a while to do them. And then that's the back of it.
Beautiful.
And
Oh.
the reason I put that in there is because it's got a crack right there. So I covered
Sure,
it up.
covered that up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Turn that
Nice.
crack into a feature.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Bob, how many centers did you make?
3, I think.
3, 4, 5, 6. 6 centers?
That sounds about right.
Oh, my goodness.
Pretty. I see that hole in there.
So it's 7.
Oh,
Let's see if you can see what's in there.
I can't see what's in that hole.
I can look through there and I can see y'all.
Yeah.
Peekaboo.
Oh,
I
my
use the
goodness.
dyes and then the Juatai paint on the outside rim, but rest of it's dyes.
Yeah.
It looks great.
And that's the Juatai paint.
What type of dyes are you using?
Aniline dyes.
Okay.
It's a water-based dye.
Water-based. Okay. What are you finishing it with?
I use no, not Waterlocks, but Minwax antique oil.
Okay. Something you would brush
That's
it
my
on or
go-to
spray
finish.
on.
I really like that.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Had good success with that. So
Okay, looks good.
Very nice.
well, thank you.
No birdhouses?
No birdhouses this week.
Oh, my.
Uh-oh.
You could make this a bird bath if it didn't have a hole in it. The bird can come in. The bird comes in through right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. We ain't got no more gallery right now. So how about we go to Safety Sue?
Hi, guys.
How do you do?
And ladies, everybody else. I got several emails from Kent. I think it's Crowell. Tell me how you pronounce your name. And
Prowl.
Thank you. And it has to do with fractal burning. And when I hear fractal burning or Leichenberg, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
But he did bring an interesting fact that on our safety moment on our webpage, we have 18 tips on how to do fractal burning. And it's up to you guys because we all have the same vote. But I'm going to say, let's change it. That says in a big triangle, just say no.
Yeah.
Now we know that there's been at least 43 deaths, several of them in the last 3 years from fractal burning. A lot of folks, because it takes a high voltage, they'll rig up their microwaves, as Matt said. And they use, and I'm not sure whether it's a solution that they've made with baking powder or whatever.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
And the two wires, they're going to shoot in the least resistant way. So if, for example, you get some of that solution on you, it's going to go from one hand through your heart into the other hand, which means your hands are going to be burnt. And you're lucky if you survive because you're being electrocuted through your heart.
Or your heart's gonna blow up.
Either way, it's not pretty.
Either blow up or go out of rhythm.
Yes, but because it's of such a high voltage, forget going out of rhythm. It's just going to tear it up. However, there's been some survivors. Some of them just have really burnt, mangled hands. One lost 1 or 2 fingers. Another, yes, they got burnt hands, but their heart stopped beating for 17 minutes before they got it beating again. So my question is, how lucid is that person now? 17 minutes without your blood circulating? Imagine what it did to his mom.
For his
Body
brain.
started to die.
Yeah.
Exactly. His brain.
What did it do to his brain?
I have enough Dane Bramage as it is without having to worry about that.
Yeah. Welcome aboard, Bert. I'm glad you got to join us. I did go to the thing on the AAW page. And if you go to Woodturner, singular, woodturner.org, if someone would put that in the chat for me, great. Woodturner.org. Yes, it is the AAW website. And you're going to see where it says to sign in. Don't. On the upper right-hand corner, you've got a search box. Just type in safety. And you're going to see some safety items, and they have one for fractal burning. Now, when I printed this, and I didn't mean to print the whole thing, finger slipped. It's 17 pages, but there's several articles in. There's a doctor that I don't believe he's a wood turner, but he got introduced to it when he had a patient that had been fractal burn, and it stopped his heart. He said, because I did watch the movie, I'm not going to put you through it. Not tonight, another night. He had mentioned that they may have done this for thousands of years. Well, I don't think electricity was back then, but
no,
it's been going on since we had electricity, folks. And squats now come out with it, just say no. So I'm thinking instead of those 18 things that we have on our website, telling a person how to be safe doing fractal burning need to go away.
Mm-hmm.
If someone gets hurt, well, Worldwide Woodturners said that it would be safe doing it this way. Are we holding ourselves up to liability? You have to think of we have here, just to give you an idea, not only does it just affect the person that's doing it, it can affect your whole family. We had one that was a death by Ronnie Wade McDonald, and Rachel O'Donnell. And, you know, it's sad. You have a couple that are gone. There's another where it was a grandmother with two older teenage, and they're no longer with their family. So I've always said this, the safety in your shop comes with you. It has to. We're not, everybody's around. Your mother's not there to tell you not to do something. So I'm going to say, let's just say no. Kent did send in a graphic that he had created, and I liked it. I think it's in here, but hang on. He did it in MS Publisher. I had to get him to send it as a PDF. Apple does not support Publisher, but basically, he's got several things here that would say our club does not allow fractal burning. Now, he's got a lot of things being read here. I think that maybe we could make it a little bit bigger. And this is the sign that he actually created for AAW, but we could make it any way we want. We shouldn't feature it on our website. We need to talk about safety, and fractal burning's not safe. It never was. There's no safe way of doing fractal burning. If you have survived fractal burning, God bless you. And if you do it again, please keep it to yourself, because it would kill me if someone that's here. And we've had, right now we got 88, 89 members on. I would be devastated if you guys read on our website about how to do fractal burning and then died. I would be devastated. So it's not only me, and you hardly know me, but think about your family, your kids, your husbands, your wife. Think about everybody else. If you go into safety on the AAW, you do not need to be a member. And now, because I have my computer set up for big letters so I can see, I have 17 pages. Okay. This is the little movie that they have, and he's a doctor. And I don't believe he's a turner. He's a doctor. So, folks, if you need to decorate your stuff, there's all kinds of ways to decorate stuff. Matt Harber can show us how to dot paint. Dane has shown how he does dye. We could get Birdhouse Bob to show us how to do the Jusania paints over black paint. We could do all kinds of stuff. We have, little burnishers that we can use to decorate. So, guys, don't do it. Please don't do it. And I think maybe with Brenda and the captain and Dane and Dave, our super webmaster, can come up with something. I'm sure that Kent would be great to do a graphic, but folks, please don't. I'm begging you not to.
Okay. Sue, that's a fantastic line to go down, but let's be clear, folks. We don't recommend it. We don't recommend the practice of fractal burning here at Worldwide Woodturners. It's not a practice we've condoned. We've had some basic instruction on it, mixed in with some other demonstrations, but it's not one of our favorite pastimes. We were talking to Charlie Bundy earlier, and he said a lot of us woodturners should have a big S on our chest because we think we're Superman. I'm going to go back to where I learned I was an ammo troop. That big S usually meant you were stupid.
Yeah.
And we all exercise that at one point. My daddy used to ask me, which side of the fence you on, the brave or the stupid? Which, because you're right on the tip of it, which way you're going to lean. That's one of those things that you may have thought, you may think now that might be something I may want to add to my work. Don't go there. Don't go there. There's a million other things you can add to your work, a million other things that are safer.
And I agree with you, Eddie.
Practical.
I agree wholeheartedly, but we just need to say under the safety moment, under facts on our webpage, to just say no.
I agree with it wholeheartedly. I agree with it.
And get rid of the 18 points that we've got to tell people how dangerous it is, or you can do this, but be careful, otherwise this will happen. I think those need to go, and just say,
Okay,
no.
I will remove it. It has only been up about a week and a half. It only went up because Kent sent his material. There's a link there that sends you to his material. And it specifically says that we do not recommend it. It's extremely unsafe. And I simply felt that it might be worthwhile putting it there only because it's not explained anywhere. And if there's somebody stupid enough to do it, there ought to be some place that makes some recommendations. But I will remove it if the club would like it. And I'm not even going to make a comment, do not do. I'm simply going to remove the whole thing because, as I say, it was not there 2 weeks ago. It's only been there for about a week, maybe a week and a half.
What
because
the
Kent mentioned it.
Well, Kent did tell me that you put a link. I couldn't find it. Where
It's
is
bolded? It's at the very top before the 18 items. Before the 18 items, it's bolded, and it says specifically, we do not recommend doing this. It's extremely unsafe. It has been eliminated by the AAW. And then there's a link to the AAW's safety information, which is extremely explicit. And again, I will remove it completely. It's only been there a very short time. And it was because I felt that if we just said, say no, there's going to be somebody out there that's not going to find any information about it, is going to try it, and won't have any recommendations anywhere. It's not easy to find on the web.
Say, let me jump in just for a sec. This is Kent, and I appreciate the work everybody has done on the webpage and the newsletter and the ability to have a two-way conversation. And the AAW put that out starting in 2017. I went to SWAT and there was a vendor there selling these things. They're not UL approved or tested. And the AAW was, I don't know for a fact, but I think, it just exposes you to a tremendous amount of liability, especially if you put it in your newsletter and your newsletter goes to minor children, that boys that might say, man, I can get a microwave oven. I could probably wire that sucker up. I can watch this TikTok or YouTube, and they're not supervised, and the YouTube videos don't say it's dangerous, and they just don't have the information that the AAW has collected over the last few years. And there's a whole lot of it going on in my city. My city contacted me and said, if someone is doing that, to call the police and fire, and they will come and evaluate it and stop it and save a life. A microwave oven puts out 1,000 milliamps. If you are exposed to 20 milliamps, you can't let go, and your heart will close up and your arms will come back and you'll roll up in a ball and you'll probably fall. And it's just one thing and another. It will not trigger your circuit breaker. It just keeps pumping electrons to you. And just something that we don't want to expose ourselves. We don't want to get someone hurt. And read up about it. Now, if you want to do it by yourself, that is your business. You can do whatever you want. But on a club, if you're a board member in a club, you're really, you really need to have a conversation with your attorney. I did. And he just said, man, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And so be careful and educate yourself so you can make the right choices.
Yeah, it's
Again,
very true. It's not just the AAW that doesn't condone it. There's clubs all over the world. There's other international organizations that don't condone it either. We had a guy in my club who brought in a cutting board. He did the Littenberg effect, and we educated him on it and told him all about the AAW and the ins and outs and how dangerous it is and how many people passed away. All of a sudden, we didn't see him at the meeting. He electrocuted himself, and unfortunately, it was still on. His wife came home, found him in the workshop. Emotions took hold. She ran up to her loved one and got fried just the same. So, I mean, don't do it. It's just too dangerous. It's not worth it. You get one mistake and you're absolutely fried. And if that's on, what about your family that finds you? They could be fried too. It's crazy. It's just absolutely insane that people do that.
Hey, so
After half a
it's
century as an electrician, all I can say is don't be a bloody idiot. Even the induction from that sort of voltage can stop your heart. You don't even have to touch the probes. Just having them there and the induction from it.
Yeah, it can
I
arc.
don't know if you can see. Oh, I'm not on. But the back of my hands is all scarred and just from the induction of working on high voltage.
Wow.
I say that we leave it. We keep the whys of not doing it. Just say no, but keep the whys so people that don't want to just say, oh no, they can read why not. I don't think we should remove it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Just say,
Well,
don't do it.
maybe say don't do it and then add a link to the AAW bits where they talk about all of the stuff that, all the people and all the problems.
And that's only deaths in North America. That's not worldwide.
What's that?
The deaths on the AAW, that's just North American deaths. That's not worldwide.
Well, that's true.
It's probably double.
But it's just woodturner.org. They should be able to get that from wherever they are. It doesn't say .ca or .com or .Germany or whatever. It's .org.
And the stats are only going to be as good as what's been reported. I mean, if somebody doesn't report they died that way, then their death certificate just says died by electricity.
Okay.
But I
gotta
got to tell you guys, I'm still of the mind of let adults be adults. I have no issue with it not being on the website, but the minute we start telling people no, you can't do it,
someone's going to do it.
I can't be part of that. That's just you got to let adults be adults.
I
agree,
Doug. I agree.
And I understand, but I just think that we need to have.
I deleted it off the website.
What's that?
It'll be down in 5 minutes. It's off the website.
Oh, I didn't say take it down, Dave, but I think what we needed to do was in the areas that we have the 18 points, that each line should just say, don't. It's up to you, but don't.
All right, let's look at maybe let's calm down. Let's look at tempering what we have on there.
Exactly, but
all right, and we'll look at a tempered revision.
And Dave, I didn't say to take it down. I'm saying that we as a group need to discuss it. And believe me, you've been doing a great job on our website. You are the best webmaster. And
I'm not taking any offense. As I say, I only put it up there for one reason, because I was putting something up that said we don't recommend it. And I have no problem taking it down or putting something in that says just don't do it.
Well, I would put stronger words. We do not recommend it. You
Right.
are
Do
responsible
not,
for your own safety. And then we could-
I would go further. I would go further. I would say this is highly dangerous and lethal. Do not do this. If you have any questions about the sorts of damage it can do to you and your family, and then send a link to the AAW.
Mhm. And then it's their choice.
I think
They're
that,
not.
Exactly. I like Matt's idea.
yeah,
And
that's perfect.
And you guys know I have one of these machines, and I've actually done a demo for you guys on it. So I the first
You
thing
and
I
I was
said,
talking about.
I actually
Yeah.
made one of those machines, yeah.
All
well,
I'm
the
gonna
first
say
thing I
about
said in the
fractal
demo
burning,
was, don't do this, it's dangerous. And then I listed all the precautions I take. And it wasn't a demo on that per se. It was just showing how electricity followed a wood burned path, the carbon in the wood. But yeah, it's dangerous. It's lethal as hell.
And
yeah,
you don't need to do it. You can replicate it with a wood burning pen.
Yep.
With a wood
Exactly.
burning tip. You can make it as abstract and as fractal as you like with a wood burning pen. You don't have to go to the dangerous extent of doing it. There's safer
Right.
ways to do it with a wood burning pen or a soldering iron.
Let me just read to you what they put. You could put this, just a suggestion. It's the policy of the American Association of Wood Turners that the process known as fractal burning is prohibited from being used in any AAW sponsored events, including regional or national symposia, and that the AAW chapters are urged to refrain from demonstrating featuring the process in chapter events. Further, the process of fractal burning shall not be featured in any written or online AAW publication, except within articles that warn against its use. AAW publications will not accept advertisements for any products or supplies or directly related to the process. Just on a side note, at SWAT, for several years, they had a vendor from Oklahoma selling a product, and this year they will ban you from going to SWAT if you're selling fractal burning equipment at their conference. They've done a 180 about face. I caught a whole lot of flack over a suggestion that, man, if this is really dangerous, and you're on the board of a nonprofit and everybody's a volunteer, and it's a legal deal, but that's something to consider. Just quote the AAW's short version. That page has over 3,500 words. And I don't even know if the executive director of the AAW has read it because it's so long. But I appreciate I appreciate that we can all disagree agreeably sometimes, and we all have the same goal of keeping everybody safe.
Thanks, Kent. Thank you. I think that we've all discussed this almost to the nth degree. Now it's up to our webmaster and some of the other folks. And actually, it's up to all of us whether, we want to vote on something, but let's together maybe come back to this next week with other suggestions so that we can help people be safer with that. and because we've kind of talked about it too much tonight, but safety is never too much. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Kent, and I hope you're safe this week. Take care.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you very much, Sue.
I don't think we beat it to death. We're speaking about something that could get a new or novice turner injured if he's not aware of the hazards. We would do this for almost any other technique or sequence of events that could happen in your shop that could get a turner hurt. We talk about them all the time. We do. Tonight we talked about not turning the machine off for major adjustments, and or not wearing a shield, not being properly grounded, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are all little steps in a long journey. Well, this fractal burning is just a little step in a long journey. And I don't want to shoot from the hip. I would like to hear from you. Give us your comments, your input. We're not going to shoot from the hip here either. It's going to be fair and equal. But I have to agree with the sound and reasonable mind that says, don't touch the stove, it's hot. I'm an adult. I don't think I'm going to go out and say, you sure? Yeah, and touch the stove to see if it is hot. I learned that when I was 3 years old. Don't touch the stove, it's hot. So we're going to have to give the warnings. We have to explain. They're adults. They should learn. They're adults. They can make decisions. They're adults. Give them the facts. So let's treat everybody like they're adults. We'll give them the facts. The facts play out the way they play out. And I believe if we treat people just that same way, we'll be fair to us and them. I don't want to go to bed tonight knowing that my neglect led to their dismay. I don't think you want to do that either. So let's tighten up a little bit. Think about it. Come to the solution. We're here to do one thing. We all gathered here almost 200 weeks ago to just share ideas about wood turning and make things better, safer, and more enjoyable. In fact, we got started, one of my good friends, and he's in the crowd right there. There's a bunch of y'all that was in that pack that started this trouble 4 years ago. Had said, what do we do when somebody wants to talk about selling stuff? What do you mean? What do we want to do? Well, it's going to make it seem like we're commercial. We're not commercial. Well, what if we want to talk about such and such? Well, if we were sitting on a tailgate out in the parking lot after the meeting, can they talk about it? Sure. Well, we're sitting on a tailgate out in the parking lot after the meeting. They can talk about it. They want to talk about turning Christmas ornaments. We had a member of our crew that turns about 1,000 a year. So one major sources of income for him and his hobby, habit, addiction. And he's done a bunch of demonstrations for us to show us technique, designs, criteria, etc. I can't tell that guy I don't want to talk about selling something. And you've picked up tips and hints from him. What about another guy that says, I can make a formula just like such and such to make a seal? I can't say that I don't want to talk about that. It's all fair. So that's what we do here. We just put it out in the open where all adults decide what they really want to see and we hear. So let's play adults on this thing all the way through. And above, I'm going to go right along with Sarge, Doug Rowe. I don't think I'm going to tell an adult you have to be an adult.
Give our opinion and educate them.
Yeah, I think I'm going to tell an adult it's your decision. I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen or what could happen. And I don't think I can tell you if you do this, it's lethal. If you do this, it could be. If something goes wrong, it could be lethal. Do you get a second blink? I go along with Cade. You don't get a second blink, but neither do some of the people that come help you. I was an explosive ordnance disposal technician in the Air Force. I had to go into a home that was being cleaned after a couple was reassigned. This was at Worth Smith Air Force Base in Michigan. And the lady cleaned the kitchen and it wasn't clean enough. She had to clean it again. Wasn't clean enough. She had to clean it again. Third time, she blended together 3 cleaning supplies you could buy at the grocery store. All 3 of them. She put them in a bucket, mixed them up. That was the last breath she took.
It was mustard
She
gas.
created gene gas. Yes. She gassed herself to death. The first airman to go in to investigate, he got gassed. He didn't die. He probably wished he had because it was that bad. it took 2 teams to go in and get and salvage and clean that place out. But when you saw what happened, because somebody just thought a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I just do a little bit of this and nothing can happen. You see, we all have that drive inside of us. It might not being here, it's just inside of us. Well, a little bit more, make it better. Crank that notch up 1 more point. All those lines are almost, 1 more notch. Turn up the speed just 1 more point, and I don't really need that shield until I get to 3,000 RPMs and things like that. We have driven, we have a line in our mind. And if we're below that line, we're okay. If we go above that line, we should have the hazards lights on. Well, turn the lights on early. Just turn the lights on early because the hazards are out there. So we're going to approach this one carefully and be careful. Adults, be adults. DS should mean smart, not stupid. So, we a little while ago were talking to Kent Kroll, and he had a SWAT hat on. That's not the guns and the mask and all that other stuff. All those guys running around, like on TV. And they canceled that show on TV. It's too violent. Well, Kent's back again. He's got his hat back on again. Let me see where there he is. There's the SWAT hat. Yes, that stands for Southwest Association Turners, SWAT. That's the crew you got to watch out for. That's not SWAT. That's the crew you got to watch out for, because that's the ones that really cause trouble. They get together the last weekend of August of each year. Personal opinion, SWAT is the finest wood turning symposium in the world. Boom. I said, it's my personal opinion. Boom. It's a group of 30 plus clubs that get together. Janice Levy got me involved in it 15 years ago or so, when I was president of a local club here. And it took about a second to talk me into it, because all these clubs get together with one goal: improve wood turning. One goal. That's it. They go to Waco, Texas, in the convention center. That's the cool time of the year. It's a dry heat in Waco. It's only 112, 113 degrees there. But it's cool. And they all get together and they monopolize that entire city to talk wood turning. And all these folks come together, and because they're not out to sell, it's not that kind of a thing. It's a gathering of friends. I mean, when you realize that you're going to see guys there that you saw 15 years ago, and they're the newbies, and they all get together and chat and talk and share ideas. It's like going to family week with family you really like. So I love it. I've been recently, I have to face reality. I'm not permitted to travel. So I can't go to SWAT, but I don't want to miss out on SWAT. And SWAT is a great opportunity for this organization, Worldwide Wood Turners, to get our name out there and meet other members. That's this, Worldwide Wood Turners. That's our stickers, our club stickers. We sell these stickers to our members. 10 stickers for $5. The information's on the front page of our webpage, the world's greatest wood turning webpage. We sell them for 10 stickers for $5 to our members. I have a deal for members that are going to SWAT, but I'm going to expand it a little bit. I got crazy tonight because a boss ducked out. Okay. I need to get rid of several hundred, maybe 1,000 stickers that we purchased and we're sitting on. I want to get them in the hands of wood turners who wish to be members of our group. I need about 10, 15 members that are going to SWAT that say they will take these stickers and pass them on to other wood turners at SWAT. No obligations. No names, nothing, no, nothing. No money changes hands. Operators standing by. This is going to be a deal for you. You tell me you will take care of this. I will mail you free my postage, because I've got people like Ron Vincent that send me money to help out with this, and others have too, to help out with this program. I will send you the decals, the stickers, and all I ask is you give these to turners who are not members of Worldwide Woodturners and say, please join us Wednesday night. Please check the world's greatest wood turning website. Please, if you're looking for a demonstration and it's free and you don't have to be a member, you can just come and enjoy us. If you've got something to barter, if you've got something it's all here. This is it. All you need to do is tell me you'd like to do it. Put it in the chat, or you can send me an email. And my email address for the club is Worldwide Woodturners. Get that? Worldwide Woodturners at gmail.com. Worldwide Woodturners at gmail.com. It's just that simple. No money needs to change hands in this. We've got this taken care of. This is what we're going to do to expand our horizon. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Brenda.
Hey, I think we're ready to do the demo.
Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Joaquin? That Joaquin?
Yeah,
the other
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
This Joaquin.
Hey, Joaquin.
That's Joaquin.
Hi. Good evening. So we're going to truncate this a little. We're running late, and that's fine. But we're going to talk about UV resin. I've shown you guys a little bit of UV resin before, but we haven't really put it to use. So I'm going to do a quick demo on inlaying the lid of a box with UV resin. And I want to point something out that I discovered about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I don't know if it's true with this brand. This is called Picasso, and I'm just trying it out for the first time this week. But I had Total Boat fail in, it was about 80% humidity, and it would not cure. So word of caution, we're below 70% tonight, and I just tested both, and they are curing. But if you're in one of those really humid places, if you don't have a climate controlled shop, you could have some problems. I'm in North Carolina. We've had some rough humidity, and I actually had Total Boat fail on me. Another thing to remember about UV resin is that it's a two-part resin. Well, you only got one bottle. Well, here's part two, UV light. So the second part is photons. It's the UV that is going to activate that resin and cure it. If you put too much color, or if you're trying to, say, glue pieces together with it, you could have trouble. That being said, I've used it to inlay powdered gemstones, the green gemstone, not sapphire, the
turquoise.
No, not turquoise. Peridot, powdered peridot worked great. I actually made a wedding ring with it embedded in it, powdered peridot. I made a pen with it, and it worked really, really well. I've used it to cure, to seal a crack with shavings, and it worked. So the instructions with this other brand, this Picasso, says 6% color. So I don't know if I just got lucky with the shavings or what, but it worked. But I did it in layers. So I put in UV resin, cured it, put in shavings and resin, cured it. And that's the secret with this stuff, is do it in little layers. So real quick, let's put the face shield on and get this round and get a tenon on both ends. And part a lid. And I'll try to do this quickly, but safely. That's a stub center. It likes to spin on me. Now, I do this a little differently because I want translucent spots in the lid of my lidded box. So what I'm going to do is part this off. After I get it in the truck, I'm going to part the lid off, put the lid in the truck, and I'm going to drill it with the, oh, and please forgive me, something's blooming and my allergies are going bonkers. I'm going to drill it with a Forstner bit to put the inlay in, and then turn the inside and then turn the outside so that we can see through the resin. Boy, this is a dull skew. That's a little bit better. So we'll part it right about here. It's going to be a fairly thin lid. So that we can drill into it, and then when we turn it and hollow, we are able to see through the lid with the resin. Now, I've only tried these two brands so far. And I've already prepared a piece of cherry burl for the inlay. But I have to say, the little bit that I've used the Picasso, I'm pretty impressed with it. And of course, my tenon's a little large. We'll get around that. Excuse me for a second. I don't know what's blooming, but it's horrible. All right, this is my first shop made tool I ever made. It's a old Sawzall blade, and it's a terrible tool. It looks awful, but it's the first one I ever made, so I keep it. Now, speaking of safety, I usually like to use a little thin kerf pull saw to finish parting off the lids rather than launching them across the planet. It's just safer.
That takes all the fun out of it, Joaquin.
Yeah. Look, I've launched enough things around the shop lately. I don't need to.
You and me both.
I had a student here Saturday, and we had a tenon fail twice. So we went to Lyle Jameson's glue block system. And it's, you know what the culprit is? This old style G3 anniversary edition has a tooth right here. And if you're turning cross grain and you put a tenon on this 60, just the 60 millimeter jaws, half the time, about six times in a dozen, it'll actually split that. That cross grain tenon. Now the new one doesn't have that tooth. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it doesn't have the tooth on the 60 mil. So lesson learned: don't use the old style G3 for a cross grain. For a cross grain tenon. So we're just going to smooth this out real quick. We can undercut it a little. We're going to drill here in just a second. So your size is up to you. And I prefer to drill this just so that I can accurately measure for the insert. If I'm using a wood insert, you don't have to use a wood insert to do this. You could just do resin. You could just add layers of resin and color. You can use alcohol dyes. I'm using some mica powder tonight, but you have to, if you use mica powder, you've got to go light. Oh. This always helps if you tighten your chuck. Drill bits work better. Now we're only turning at about 420 RPM. And we're going to go a little past 3/4 of the way through. Again, the reason I do this is because I want the lid to be translucent. I want you to be able to see light through it. So if I put it in inside out, that gives us a little bit more room to get a shape on the inside and get a shape on the outside and still be able to see. So we're just going to go right about there. Should be good. And if your Forstner bit is so hot when you're done drilling that you can't touch it and take it out and hold it, you're drilling too fast. Slow your lathe down. All right, so that is 1 5/8. So we're going to set the lid aside for a moment. And I've got a little sacrifice block here that I have CA glued a piece of just a scrap thin slice of burl from another project. This is just some cherry burl. And that's CA glued on that little sacrifice block. And we will double check our diameter here. And we are at 1 5/8, a little bit bigger, but that's why we check. So real quickly, we will cut that. I'm going to pull the tailstock off so that I don't run my elbow into it. It always hits you right on the funny bone.
And there ain't nothing funny about it.
Hmm?
I said, and there ain't nothing funny about it.
No, there's not. I always jump when it hits me. And then I go, why did they take that thing off? All right, this is, well, there's no real grain direction, so slow your lathe down a little bit. Burl is always exciting. We'll go ahead and flatten this a little bit and see if we can. I'm running a tiny bit high. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm preparing this surface, and I'm not going to use the resin to glue this in. Remember, so I can't use it as a, I can't use the resin to glue this in. I can use it to fill around it, which is what we're going to do, but it won't glue it in because we can't shine light through wood. So when you're using this, when you're working with this stuff, think about that. Let's see, where's my square inch scraper here? Okay. All right, that's ballpark. We'll sneak up on it. All right, where'd I put my caliper? It's my favorite game. Where'd I place my caliper? All right, that should fit in there pretty nicely. CA glue shears. It's held it just fine. There's a little spot of CA glue, but all you got to do is get a good wedge in there and it will shear for you. It'll snap it right off. So we're going to CA glue it, but that CA glue is going to end up being turned away and the resin will ultimately be the only thing that's holding this in. So I'm just going to take our little disc, the surface we just prepared. Hit it with a little bit of accelerator. And we will set up for resin while that CA glue sets. So we're going to talk about safety again. You need to be in a well-ventilated area. It doesn't smell strongly, but there are still gases. It's still chemical resin. So I had to close my shop doors because the sun was setting, shining right in my eyes. But my regular person-sized door is open and I've got my fan going, so I've got plenty of circulation. My wife got me these wonderful little silicone pads. They're great. They're perfect for resin. I don't even know if they were at Walmart. They were It's very inexpensive. So one thing I really like about the Picasso brand is it came with these cool little mixing cups, and it came with a little silicone mixing tool. And that's really nice. Total Boat doesn't do that. You got to buy them on your own. And the number one safety recommendation I can make for you when you're working with resin is if you don't put gloves on, you get what you deserve. And that will be resin caked fingers. Wear gloves, please. Wear gloves. Okay, so this is the UV Beast 2. It's 47 watt, I think, UV flashlight. The first thing we're going to do is just put a quick thin layer down in the bottom there. Let it run down. And then we'll mix our color. So a little bit down in there. If you're careful in your application, you shouldn't get bubbles, but this stuff is also pretty thick. So the cautious addition of a little bit of heat will help it run. Just real quick hit with the torch, and that'll also break any bubbles. And you turn your UV light on and you expose it to UV light. Now this stuff cures in about 2 minutes. The Total Boat, I've had it go for 2 minutes and I've had it go for 20. And again, my discovery was that the challenge I was dealing with was humidity. So just be aware, if you're in a high humidity area and you don't have humidity control in your shop, it may not work. So 6% ratio is really low. So we're just going to get a hint of color, but we have to maintain that translucency. And mica goes pretty far. If you're not used to using resin, mica does go pretty far. Scrape down the sides, make sure you get it all blended in. And I'm not worried about getting resin on any of this because it's silicone and it'll break right off. So that's another thing to think about and remember, is that will just come right clean off of there. Now, there we go. Good piece of wire. I always test to make sure that I've hit it with enough light. So just something to, and that's sealed. That is solid. So there's an obvious advantage to traditional resin. That's already sealed. It's already solid. We can move on to the next step, which is to add our color. Get it around the edges. Now, if you have a larger project and you're using a lot of this, you can set it out in the sunlight. And after about 20 minutes, it'll cure. And you can do it. This is a pretty thick pour. This is a 1/4 of an inch deep. But as long as light can make its way through it and it is translucent, it should be fine. Again, silicone's gonna take care of all of this will come off of silicone. In fact, it won't even cure if I don't hit it with UV light. So if you do get a little spillage, right, you can actually just come in with a paper towel. You can wipe it away. This is not going to cure without UV light. Get that little tiny bit left out of there. So to clean your little silicone cup and your little silicone scraper mixer, all you got to do is hit it with the light for a minute or two, and then just move it around and it'll snap right off. Okay, UV light. If you do have bubbles, that didn't bubble. If you do have bubbles, again, you can just hit it real quickly with the torch. And it takes about 2 minutes. And we'll give it a little bit extra. Give it a little bit extra time because there is color in there. So you can expect when there is something blocking light or diffusing the light to take a tiny bit longer to cure, but we'll test it. And if we're not happy with it, we'll hit it with the light again. Almost there.
Does somebody have the link perhaps for this UV resin? Maybe they can put it in the chat.
You can find it all over Amazon. It's not expensive. You can't get it in very large amounts, at least not that I've found yet. But I got both of these, Total Boat. UV Cure Clear Resin. And then this other one is called Picasso. And I got them both at on Amazon. And like I said, they're very inexpensive. They're really not that expensive at all. And of the two, I'm a little bit more impressed with the Picasso, to be honest with you. All right, that is cured. I'm getting no bounce, no resistance. That is solid all the way through. Now, again, disposal of our little mixer here. All we got to do is hit it with the UV light and our little spills, and those will pop right out. So there's a tiny bit of it probably ran under a little. So we may, on the outside, we may find a little bit of leakage, a little bit of softness because it ran under. But we can, as we expose it, again, just hit it with the UV light, and that should take care of the issue. So just a little bit of light, and that's coming right out. That's solid. So cleanup is not hard with this, unlike some other resins. We'll give it a little bit extra light. Better safe than sorry. Do protect your bedways, though. But just like any other resin, it'll pop right off. You can scrape it off. But rather than 24 hours in a pressure pot, we're ready to turn. So we'll just give our inside a little bit of shape. And you can see that cuts just fine. Cuts just like any other resin. A little bit more.
What tool is that you're using?
I'm sorry?
What tool is it you're using to make this cut?
This is a Sorby 3/8" spindle gouge with Mark Soleil style grind on it.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay, that cut really cleanly. And again, I'm checking it. It is clean. It is dry. That is cured, fully cured resin. Sand it the same way you do the wood. And we'll go ahead and real quick sand that up so that when we finish the other side, we can see the finished project. Oh. Maybe. So same as any other time with sanding, slow your lathe down. This is resin, it is plastic. If you heat it up, it will soften, just like anything else, any other plastic, any other resin. So pay attention to that, be careful. Let's see what I got going on here. I don't like this corner. Let me fix this corner real quick, sorry. Being picky. There we go. And again, look at that. That's like just like any other resin. It's flammable at that stage too. When you're shaving it, and you have those thin shavings, it is flammable like any other resin. So, I don't know, it was a couple months ago when Moon Pie Creations had dropped the tools, made a spark. It landed in his resin pile and it caught his shop on fire. Be careful. Okay. Oh, for time's sake, I'm trying to abbreviate this, but I want you to see how it finishes. Let me get a piece of 320. Now, whatever finishing process you use with resin, you can use with this. For these little boxes, I just use the same finishing process I use with the wood around it, which in this case is going to be to sand it to 400 and then introduce Brad's Workbench sanding paste to it. And it finishes pretty nicely. Okay. If you have a cling spore local to you, they usually have a bargain bin in the back where they have the cutoffs of their industrial rolls, and they sell sandpaper of every grit imaginable by the pound. It is a really, really great deal, a great way to find sandpaper, high quality sandpaper in large quantities, and it's inexpensive. And
they actually have a number of varieties of bargain boxes now.
Yeah,
I haven't bought any in years because the bargain box is huge, but it's like,
oh, it's awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
all kinds of different sandpapers, and it's so, I mean, it saves so much money. It saves so much money. So if you have cling spore, take advantage of that. Okay, so again, not really doing a terribly thorough job, just trying to get this quickly to show you. But we'll get the sanding paste in there. This is food safe, by the way. And I've always found that this sanding paste works best if you start out slow, work it in, go to a clean spot on the towel, speed up about 100 RPM, rinse and repeat until your paper towel comes away clean. Now, apparently, I'm in a pen turning group, excuse me, and a lot of pen turners are doing this, doing layers of UV resin instead of label casting. So they'll put a label on a tube and then simply do layers of UV resin and build it up and then turn the UV resin down. So there's another option, again, saving time. You can see, you can get a nice finish on there, and you can take it further if you want to. We're not going to for time's sake. But rather than being your label cast being, again, in a pressure pot for 24 hours, you can use the UV resin to put a label on. I thought that was pretty interesting. I hadn't even thought of that possibility. I haven't tried it yet. I've found so many other things that I can do with this stuff that I haven't even got around to that. So standard box, again, we're just did the inside so that we will be able to see through the lid. So we'll see if I can manage to hit a jam within the first dozen tries here. Where'd I put my caliper? That is always the question. And again, as you're turning this away, if you feel like you found a soft spot, if you feel like it's not cured because you had too much color in there, hit it with the light again. Yeah, move my tailstock. I'm tripping over it. I really like this little Sorby 1/4 inch parting tool because it's got a long shaft. So when you're cutting the sides of the walls of your box, you have a lot of real estate that you can look down and sight on your bedways to make sure you've got square walls. It's a great little tool. Okay, we are in the right neighborhood. So what I'm talking about is if you want to make sure that you have a good jam square walls, if you set the tool and you look down the shaft here, you can see your bedway. You can make sure that you're cutting straight in. And as long as you just keep half an eye on that, you should be able to cut square walls. That might be it. We're right there. So it actually takes longer to fit your lid than it does to cure the resin. There we go. Beautiful. So now it's just simply a matter of giving ourselves a little bit of shape and revealing the inlay on the outside. And we're almost there. You can start to see where the CA glue is and the resin. There's the center of the Forstner bit. Okay, take a look. That's the CA. So now we know exactly where we're at. There we go. Okay, so we have an air pocket here, and there is a little spot that didn't get a lot of light. So we're going to stop real quick and we're going to fix that. Now the color is underneath, so we don't need to fill this with, we don't need to mix color again or anything like that. We just need clear resin just to fill that void.
Hey, Joaquin, how did that void get there, do you suppose?
I'm sorry?
How did the void get there, do you suppose?
It's an air, the shape of that little piece of burl, it came out, it curled under.
Ah, okay.
That's the edge. That's right on the edge of the burl.
Gotcha. Okay,
So-
thank you.
So you got to be aware that, again, where light doesn't hit it, it's not going to cure. So that's all that is it didn't cure. So it soaked through. That's what I was turning away. It soaked out into here because the light didn't get to it because it ran up under the shape of the edge of that burl. That's one drawback to this. When you have a pressure pot, right, traditional resin, that pushes that resin in. We're not doing that here. We don't have that option. However, again, we're also not waiting 24 hours. So make sure I had a little shaving in there. Blow that out. You can see there's a little liquid. So that light just didn't get there. Gloves again. And we've already got color in there. And this stuff does cure completely transparent. So we'll just get in there fill any low spots. Because we will turn that down. So being a little bit over is okay. And hit it with light. So again, about 2 minutes. But I have experienced the higher the humidity, the longer it doesn't like to cure. So we're still under 70% humidity tonight. But that day that it didn't cure on me, it was like 83% humidity. So probably nothing would have cured on that day. So you can see that cure's crystal clear. We're almost hard, almost fully hardened. Okay. Let's check it. Rock hard. All right. That's ready for sanding. So we have a little bit out. We had it chip out. So again, it chipped out. Do the same thing. It's really quick if you have these challenges.
Dropping like flies.
And that might be a little other spot. we might have revealed that spot as we got deeper into it. Again, because we didn't have an even shape on the edge of that burrow. There is some degree of exothermic reaction here. However, it's not, I think it's more just a reflection of the heat of the UV lights than it is the resin as it's curing, heating up. I think it's from the light. And it's not so hot that you can't touch it. Give it a couple more seconds, but that's pretty much cured. Never hurts to just give it a little extra light while you're doing things like moving this stuff out of the way. What's it going to do? Cure more? But it's cured. It's cured that fast. This brand, for whatever reason, this Picasso brand seems to cure faster than Total Boat. I haven't sat down with a stopwatch, but it just, from using them, it seems to cure faster. We'll take a couple of real light passes and sand it real quick so you can see the effect of the translucence. There we go. Still a couple bubbles in there, but we're going to go ahead and sand it. All right, just put that chunk of 220. Now, again, obviously, that's not a saleable finish, but I'm trying to do this quickly just to show you the effect. All right, can we get it off of there? There it goes.
See, a skew is good for something.
Well, I would have used my skew to turn to outside, but it has a little nick in it and I've got to spend about 20 minutes on the grinder with it. Because I've been using it a whole lot and I got a bump on the edge. Okay, you ready? So
Oh,
you
cool.
can see right through there.
Oh,
You can see
wow,
the
that's
bubbles.
neat.
Nice.
See the bubbles,
Yeah.
but you can fix that. Again, for speed's sake. Come on, focus you.
It looks great.
That is
So yeah,
great.
that's a use that I have been testing for UV resin. So my challenge to you would be, what else can you do with it?
Yeah.
Any questions?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I just ordered mine.
Nice, Joaquin. Can you turn it over so we can see the inside of the lid again?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I
that's really
I did
sweet.
sand the
Nice.
rim and everything, but come on, focus you.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
this I like. What I like about this is if you use all those little weird chunks of burl that are left over when you start
Mhm.
shaping it and cutting it, what do you do with those?
Right.
Remember, there's no such thing as scrap wood. It's just wood you haven't turned yet.
That's for sure.
All right, that's what I got for you tonight.
Beautiful.
Hey, thanks,
Beautiful.
Joaquin. That's great.
It
Good
really
job.
was a great demo.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes,
it was.
please.
Good demo.
Very good. Thank you.
Very
Yes.
nice.
Thank you, Joaquin.
Nice
Sorry we
demo.
started so late.
Oh, no worries.
We got her done, didn't we?
You bet.
All right. Well, thanks, Joaquin.
Betcha.
Okay. So we got one more gallery item if you guys still want to see, if Jim Duxbury is still here.
He left.
Did
He
he
left.
leave?
Yep.
All right. That's all we got.
Okay, in that case, I have a quick comment or a request of Kent. I'd like him to send me a exact copy of the comments he'd like to see on our safety page. I have highlighted on the safety page the phrases I'm using, including adding Sue's comment, "Just don't do it," at the top. Next week, I'd like everybody to have looked at that page and made a comment as to whether you want it cut down to just have the first line, or whether you want the first 3 lines, which we've got at the moment, that say, "We do not recommend using this and that it's dangerous," and then follows with the 18 lines of safety. Because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm coming up with these things. The only reason they ended up on it was because I received an email from Kent a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago that said, put something about it on the website, because we didn't previously had it. So I just sort of put something there. And I know this is a dangerous topic, like everybody to review it and make a comment so that we're not committing to anything. And I won't
Sounds
take
good,
offense
Dave.
by anything anybody says. Please do look at it and see if you have a problem with what it says. Send me your comments, send me written phrases you'd like to see. I'll add them, delete them. We'll talk about it next week. That's all I have for this. I just want to make sure everybody is ready to look.
That'd be great.
Well, thanks, Dave.
That'll be the safety talk for next week. Well,
Very good.
thank
That sounds like a good idea.
To be continued.
To be
Exactly.
continued.
Exactly.
But we can only do that if we look at it and we have some idea. Right.
Exactly.
All right, I want to
For the best.
go.
I think
Everybody
it's
remember
be
that.
aware.
Absolutely. Everybody remember that next month is just a couple weeks away, actually. They'll be here before we know it. It's Beads of Courage Bowl. So be looking at those minimum dimensions and all those kinds of things, and we'll have a good time showing those in August.
Okay.
And I should point out on the website, I did put a link to where you can find the requirements for the Beads of Courage.
Oh, good.
If you look at the front page, there should be a link on it. It says we're doing Beads of Courage. We still haven't specified a date, but yes, it's next month. And there's a link in there that says, check here to find out what the requirements are to have a Beads of Courage box.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey, Brenda,
Yeah.
I want to share something with Cade real quick.
Okay, hold on a second. Where am I going?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna be.
Can you see me? Here, I'm over here.
Where are you? There you are.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. All right. I went to Cade's class on his IRD on turning brass and aluminum, and I couldn't stand it. I had to try it, and so I couldn't.
That's as usual, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I couldn't get the half. This is a piece of 5/8 brass, and I could only get the 1/2 inch in 3 foot length, so I got the 5/8 and a foot long, and I had. So this is the brass
Ooh.
that I turned, and
Sweet. Oh, cool.
then I shaped the bulb like the bow. It's so shiny, it's hard to focus on. Taking pictures of it, it's really hard. And I didn't have it. My rouge was 40 years old, Kate, and I went to polish it up, and it didn't work. So I said, okay, I'm going to use some of that Yorkshire grit to polish it. And it did okay. But then I remembered I have that scratch-free magic wax, and it's 3 cans, So the first can is 7,000 to 8,000. No, it's 3,000 to 4,000. The second can is 7,000 to 8,000. The third can is 12,000. So I just polished it up with that, and it did a pretty good job. I mean, and then I put the Hampshire Sheen wax on top of it. And you said you hadn't used any. You didn't use any carbides, and I tried a couple of carbides, but it was my deep B3H Thompson gouge and a little 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch scraper, 20 degrees, and my parting tool. It did all the work. I was amazed by it. And but it was I enjoyed the class. I enjoyed doing this. My aluminum come in today. I'll probably pick it up tomorrow and see what I can do with that.
Awesome. That looks great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic. I enjoyed your IRD and look forward to a few more.
Thank you.
Great.
So
Nice.
tell me, is the old Brassos not available anymore?
Yes, it is. I don't
Okay.
have it, That's what I had, and so that's what I use. And I've been using this scratch-free on acrylics. You're supposed to be able to polish acrylics without doing the wet sanding. It does an okay job, but it's not compared to wet sanding up to 8,000.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't show this last week because Cade wasn't here, and I called him up. Hey, Cade, you're going to be there tonight. Wanted to show it today, so.
He was one of the first ones on tonight.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay.
All right. Before we lose anybody else, I want to go to Donald.
I just want to remind you to save the chat.
Yes. Thanks, Donald. All right. Anybody else ain't got anything? Anybody else?
Great night, everybody.
Yeah, it was. Good night, you guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, you too.
everybody.
Great week, you guys.
Good
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone, take care.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.